Hello train fans, welcome to my video. This time it's all about this item. A little bit different from usual, but I haven't done much on the layout, and that's because of the amount of disorganisation in the shed. Over the years I seem to have built up so much stuff, and it's time to get rid of some of it. Give myself some room and get some organisation going. So it stands to reason, take the biggest stuff out first and gain the most space. Well, the biggest thing under there is this. So I've balled it out. It's well, it stayed under my bench at work for at least 5 years. It's probably been underneath the layout here for about 5 years. I actually built the layout around it, so it's long overdue. I don't need it because I've got my HO layout, and if I feel so inclined, I've got 5-inch gauge live steam locos and other bits and pieces going on. The last thing I need is to get into N gauge, so it's got to go. What it is a Colstar Barnes TV. It just says Colstar here, but sometime on the internet I found out it's a Colstar Barnes, American company that were manufacturing electrical items in the UK. I think it's from about 1954 from what I've managed to discover. Clearly someone's built an N-gauge layout inside it, and probably gone to some lengths. My plan is to fix what I can fix and stick it on that well-known internet site. So it's got wires here and a decent plug. Now, as I recall, I put this plug on and lead when it first arrived because the other one was ancient and not very safe, so I'm presuming it's safe. So what I'm going to do is plug it in with some trepidation and hope that it doesn't trip the house fuses or breakers. Okay, it's plugged in, nothing's gone bang, the lights are still working. So I can't actually remember what happens, so I'm going to try this one. Well, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a wow wow bit of a noise coming from it. So something electrical's happening, but nothing's happening in there. Oh, now that one does that. So that one turns that light on. I'm guessing this should turn the other light on, but doesn't. So what we've got here is obviously American. We've got a sheriff's office, general store, Donkey's hideout cafe, station hotel, a little church, Western Union office, and Blue Ridge. I'm guessing that because this is a mountain, that will be the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, made famous by the song. Now, there was some locos and rolling stock that came with this. That's one of the locos. Very nice condition, clean, doesn't look worn. It's an N gauge, but clearly GWR. Great Western Railway, or God's Wonderful Railway as some like to call it. Obviously that's not American. I did toy with the idea of putting a little cow catcher, maybe a light and a spark arrestor funnel, but as I'm selling it, I think I would just detract from the value, so I'm not sure about that at the moment. Here's a little tank loco that also came with it. Another GWR. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the LMS because my granddad was a driver at the LMS, probably where my interest in trains come from. And I can't see why, but also there's two diesel shunters with BR livery. So none of that goes together, none of it's American. There's a couple of southern region, I guess, slightly dirty and worse for wear coaches. And several trucks of varying liveries and etc. So they're all quite nice. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Probably put one engine and a few carriages on it when I sell it, and then sell the rest individually on that well-known internet site. So I'm going to unplug that now. Now I've had to balance this somewhat precariously on the bench there, because if I put it on top of the layout opposite the windows, the sun reflects off it and it was coming up badly on the camera, so I've had to balance it here. Hopefully it's going to be safe until I get to the end of the video. Well, already we can see that there's several bits of wire. I take it this went to the top one. One thing I can see already, and I do seem to remember from when I first had it, that the curves are far too sharp for any N-gauge loco to go around on the top layer, so that won't be used and it's just going to be for looks only. I can see that there used to be some sort of a tunnel here, and I'm pretty sure there used to be something here, but in the process of moving house and workshop and everything else, bits have got lost, bits have got broken, which is always a shame. Now that is extraordinarily heavy. It might be wood, or it might be ceramic in some way, although it does look like plastic. I don't want to pull it off because I want to rebuild that as much as possible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure it's unplugged. Yes, it is. I'm going to take this bit out and see what's in it. Nothing seems to be catching. Okay. So excuse me, that looks like a gauge master controller, although there's no label on it that I can see. I just like to know that is a gauge master, and that has been wired into this, which is the mains input, 240 in the UK. Now I think the next thing to do is turn everything up full. Plug everything in. Get out the trusty multimeter. Right, so that's in. Lights on. I can hear the electrical buzzing. Now I do recognise this unit here. It's what they used to use in kitchens when downlighting first come out, and it was all transformed down to about 12 volts, which is I presume why they've used it here. So I've got my meter set to DC. I'm just going to plonk it in there. And see what it's reading. Nothing at all. Okay. Put it onto AC. Clearly something's come out because the light's on. And that is reading 5.8. It was going up a little bit, 6.6 volts AC. So I don't think these lights are a practical solution. I'm sure LEDs of some description would be a lot better. So clearly 6 volt AC is no good to me. So that's all going to have to come out. Right, so unplug the beast again. So if I put a plug back on this, well, it's going to be a short lead, isn't it? But maybe I can sell that again. They do go for a few quid on eBay. Bit of a clean up, bit of a new plug. Get rid of that. I'm not sure about these what I believe are dimmer switches actually, which would make sense if it was if this is all from lighting circuits. There's no actual date on that. Right, so I think that's everything to do with this. Oh, hold on. In its travels, the bits have got lost. This is a side piece that goes there. I believe it gets screwed onto them noggins. And that's all that remains of the whole back. I'll swing that round the other way. Yeah, that fits in that side, so I'm going to have to cut another one of those, and then I'll end up with that both sides, and with a square bit that fits in, which we used to be held in by this, I presume. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it up to that height, leave this empty, then get rid of that, put a couple of very small, very simple Hornby controllers. Hopefully one of them will have an output that will suit an LED, and then I can just have the one plug coming in, have the train control set at a certain speed, so when you plug it in or turn it on, the lights come on and the trains go around automatically. I think that'd be an interesting item then. Right, so a bit of woodwork to come. So moving on to the internal section. You can see a little bit better what it consists of. I'm going to zoom in on the town a little bit. Clearly you won't be able to see everything, but you get an idea of what's going on there. Rather dusty. That car's connected, so is that. Oh, that one's loose. I'm going to zoom out a tad. I don't know when this was made, but I believe this item was from Lightning McQueen, and possibly this one, which I remember watching with my kids when they were young. so it's probably around that era. Nice little Purelair model, not running, of a Casey Jones American engine. There's a lot of fallen foliage. Oh, some very tiny people here. Gosh, look at those. Look at those. Look. Especially in my big fingers, they are tiny. I guess that's what you get with N-Gage. Some of the gravestones have fallen. Yeah, so I'll have to pick all them carefully up and then get my very tiny hoover and try and pick up some of these bits of dirt.